All right, so we're coming around to 10 o'clock. I guess we could give people a few more minutes to hop on. We've been seeing over the past week that people hop on around like 10:05, as I'm sure you know, George. But really quick
Yeah, 10,
housekeeping.
10 o'clock to like 10:07 is like
Yes. So just quick housekeeping. Anybody who's on here, it would be super appreciated if you could turn your cameras on. Just keeping the energy higher. It's better to interact. You can ask George questions, all of that. George is amazing. He's a tech guru. He works in Haddonfield, Cherry Hill area in New Jersey. I've been personally taking his trainings for the past couple of weeks as a member of the leadership team, but he's just a fountain of knowledge, and we're super, super excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining us for our Tech Week 1.0, George, and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's fun to get on with this stuff, right? Because the reality is that what people call me in my role is the regional tech trainer, right? But I don't care too much, in all honesty, about ever teaching technology. Like, I make my money the same way you guys do. Sell real estate, right? Help people buy and sell homes. Help people invest in properties. Help people literally reach the goals that they want in their life through this business. So, 2-second background on me. I've been in real estate for 8 years now. I've been in real estate for all 8 years with Keller Williams. I sold 4 homes in my first year, right? Maybe 20 in my second year. And by the third year, we were pushing 100 units. And now, I have a team of 14 people that will do about maybe 200 or so transactions this year. And we've been that way for, nearly 5 or 6 years now. So it's not like it happens overnight. It's just about consistency of action, right? And as a matter of fact, we're talking today about internet lead generation. We're talking about ways to get people to, use you in your business and to leverage online power to sell real estate. None of it happens overnight. None of it. So let me dispel that myth immediately. Even if I were to spend $1,000 a month and generate a whole bunch of leads that come into me, and one of them was ready to buy like right this second, we're finding on average that it's taking us 45 days to actually find that person the right home and get them to win a bid. Well, from the time they're super active, that's taking another 45 days to close. So even if you thought things were technically overnight, they literally, the fastest it's happening is 3 months from now, right? This is all about establishing a plan and then having a repetitive course of action that you do every single day. And it just starts to snowball, right? That's what ends up happening is if you do that one little thing each day, it just starts to snowball. Now, my biggest thing that I see people have problems with, whether it's regular real estate stuff or whether it's online lead generation, is they don't do it with any consistency. Okay? Everybody wants online lead generation to be a magic bullet. I spend money, a lead shows up, they buy a home. Cold online lead generation, whether it's through KW Command, whether it's through Facebook ads natively, whether it's through, straight cold calling. I mean, you could be paying for any one of a billion different third-party internet sources, okay, for leads. The average person takes 18 months to convert, and your average is 125 leads to one closing. So if you've gone online and you've tried online lead generation and you're thinking to yourself, well, I've spent $50. I got 25 leads. They were all shit. Guess what? I hear that all the time. I spent money. I got 25 leads. They all sucked. I got 50 leads. They all sucked. I got 100 leads. They all sucked. If you want to be in the online lead generation game, you need to get hundreds of leads. And so when you want to play that game, the game we're talking about today, the online lead generation game, you need to have a plan of what ads you're going to be putting out there in advance of you actually putting them out. 2, you need to actually take the action to do things consistently. 3, you need to have a follow-up plan that you are going to aggressively go after no matter how you get the lead. And 3, you need to understand that the cost structure you're looking at is not your overall spend. The number you're going to look at, or KPI or key performance indicator, is going to be cost per lead captured. That's your main number goal. And that doesn't matter if you're doing it online here, or whether you're doing it through postcards, or whether you're doing it through hiring an ISA, right? Cost per lead acquisition is the number that you need to look at, because the lower you can get that, the more that you can spend, and the more that you can go through and understand, like, okay, so for example, you guys are looking at my paid campaigns inside of Command here. And if I show you the lifetime that I've run, all right, so 15 ads, 393 leads captured, $835 spent. So on average, my spend, all right, my spend is just over $2. So 835 spent, 393 captured. I'm not a calculator here, but I'm going to take a guess and say it's like $2.05 or something, right? So if I know that it cost me $2.05 to capture a lead, and I know that it costs, that on average I'm going to need 125 leads to turn into one sale, then if I haven't spent a minimum of $260, I can't be upset with the fact that I haven't converted anything. And by the way, those numbers are a stretched out average. So I've closed 3 leads that I've gotten through Command here. So that's 393 leads to 3 closings. But I didn't get a single viable, like, closable client until about lead number 200. And then I ran an ad and I happened to get 2 on that specific ad. So if you're looking at any online lead generation, I don't care if it's through Command, I don't care if it's through paid Facebook natively, I don't care if you're spending $6,000 a month with Zillow, all right? I mean, I do care. I think that's a huge waste of money, but I'm saying if that's the game you're going to play, the first thing you need to understand is the money part of that game. So if you are not understanding what your cost per lead acquisition is, all right, so you see on here that I'm spending about $2.05 or so a lead, right? But my cost per lead acquisition is my cost per client acquisition is basically $393, all right, divided by 3, that's 120 something, 130. And so that 130 times my 205. So my acquisition cost is under $300. Now my average sale is about $9,000 in commission. I'm okay spending $300 to make $9,000. Is everybody on the same page with that? I'm okay spending $300 to make $9,000. The biggest issue that I see people running into when they're doing any sort of online advertising is that they don't understand what they have to spend to actually acquire a real client. Now, the reason why I don't ever recommend, besides that they're, a competitive brokerage to go through Zillow, is I know most agents who are like, well, I close like a deal a month through Zillow. And I'm like, well, what do you spend with them? They're like, like $2,000 a month. And I'm like, $2,000 per lead acquired? That profit margin does not work. It's not scalable, because even if you can acquire a lead at that type of cost, if you can acquire a client, the more you grow, you're going to have to take on other expenses in your business. And as soon as you take on those other expenses, you're not going to be able to afford to pay $2,000 to acquire a real client. This is why I focus on advertising through Facebook and Instagram as my online lead acquisition strategy, because it literally cuts the cost of acquisition down to about 10% of other strategies. Now, understand, if you're ever going to pay, if somebody tries to sell you on like a third-party platform, like a Chime or a Boomtown or one of these things, you're probably going to pay a base amount of $1,000 or more just for the CRM portion of that software. Then you're going to pay an ad spend on top of that software for them to do it for you. And there's a profit margin built into that ad spend. So just like looking around the call here, Dave said, oh, I'm going to advertise through Boomtown, right? Boomtown is only going to spend 80% of Dave's advertising spend. 20% of it comes off the top to their revenue, right? There's a profit margin literally built into your ad spend. So you're spending a G a month just in the platform itself. And then if you say, well, I'll spend another $1,000 in advertising, you're really only getting $800 worth of advertising value. And where do you think they're actually using that $800 to advertise? Right here. The same exact spot that you have the ability to advertise through. So instead of Dave having to spend $1,000 to acquire a system that's going to require him to spend another $1,000, of which only $800 will be spent in ads, he could take that same $2,000, all right, put $1,000 of it in his back pocket, all right, go and have a good time in Atlantic City with $1,000. If Atlantic City's still open, I don't even know anymore, right? And then he could take the other $1,000, literally spend the entire $1,000 on ads in this platform. And if he was generating leads at the same cost structure that I'm showing you here, he'd be looking at about 500 acquired or leads captured for that same $1,000. Let's just call it, we'll say it's even 450, right? I'll go and say it even costs a little more. Do you think that if you're spending $2,000 a month with one of these big third-party systems, that they're giving you 450 people to contact a month? Do you think that if you pay $2,000 a month to Zillow, that they're giving you 450 people to contact a month? Hell no. Maybe they're giving you 40 in a crappy zip code. All right? Guys, if there's a way to spend and waste money in this business to try to acquire leads, I've done it. I have burned my own money trying these strategies, okay? I am not teaching from a place of hypothetical. I'm teaching you my real life mistakes, lessons learned that I look back on and teach from. I know how much it costs to acquire a business through those third-party sites. I know how much it costs to acquire business through those CRMs. And I also know where my own team has failed in our online lead generation strategies to help you out today. Now, if any of you guys heard what I just said here and you're like, all right, well, George, if you've spent $835 and you've closed 3 deals, okay, I don't understand why you're not spending $10,000. Do you know why? Does anybody want to take a guess at why, if I've said, hey, I've closed 3 deals off of this, I make about $9,000 a deal, why am I not doing this on a bigger level?
Because of inventory?
No, that's not it. I find buyers all day long.
Because you have to actually field the leads.
Bingo. I do not have the infrastructure to field and follow up with the leads. And I know that you're thinking, didn't that dude just tell me he has 14 people on his team? Guess what? Not everybody on the team calls leads at the rate that I want them to call them. All right? Not everybody in my organization is going to follow up like an animal. And I have burned more money in not having a good follow-up system than lead generation. That's why I started today with, there are a few things you need to have in place and understand before you're going to go this route, before you're going to go the, paid campaign, spend a whole bunch of money route. By the way, if you're just a solo agent and this is your way to get leads right now and you have the hustle to actually call and follow up and the diligence, there is nothing wrong with this strategy at all. If you're looking to scale a business and add this in as part of it, it seems like, well, that's great. I'll just spend money, get leads, and give them to my team. But if your team doesn't follow up with them appropriately, then you might as well just go take that same $835, go buy them all a new pair of sneakers, and give them to them as gifts. They'll like that better and they'll use it more. You guys understand the concept of what I'm saying here, right? Without follow-up, none of it works. Okay? Without follow-up, none of it works. Think about this. No matter how the internet has changed real estate in terms of where our clients go, where our clients come from, how we acquire people, there are 3 stages of real estate, and that has never changed. There's lead generation, there's transaction management, and one's over here and one's over here, and this huge gap in the middle is where most realtors fail, and that's follow-up. So if you do not have a follow-up system in place, then you are going to fail at lead generation online. Hell, I don't want to take this, this route, but you're going to fail at real estate. Follow-up is the success measure. If I generate a whole bunch of leads and then I don't follow up with them, how many of them result in closings? Right? This is why you have to understand your own limitations. Meaning, I'm not the best guy at follow-up. I admit that. I totally am raising my hand and saying I'm not the best follow-up agent. But I have a guy in my organization now who we're training to be the sole point of where I send all these leads for follow-up. I'm putting in a structure so that I can spend more money on this stuff to acquire these leads for them to be nurtured appropriately. You don't need to have a second party to do this. You can have the will to do it yourself. I'm just admitting to all of you that I'm not the best at that. It's okay to not be the best at a certain part of this business. But if you can identify what your weakness is, then you can get with someone to help leverage that weakness. I'm not the best at paperwork. That's why Cabrina's been with me for 6.5 years, right? I'm not the best at listing presentations. That's why Anthony D'Amato crushes all my listing presentations. I'm great at lead generation and coaching and training and supporting people and marketing. So I know my strengths, and I'm building a business around my strengths. I want to teach all of you these strategies because maybe your strength is in the same stuff as mine. Maybe your strength is taking these ads and generating a whole bunch of business. Maybe your strength isn't going on a listing presentation, and you'll learn to grow that part of your business with help. So let's go into, we've got a whole hour here today. I want to get creative, because if we just sit here and I talk to you for an hour about, well, you can run an ad for a new listing, you'll go, yeah, bro, thanks. I know I can run an ad for a new listing. All right. I want to provide something today that maybe you listen to and you say, oh shit, I have not thought about that type of lead generation. Right now, first, let's just go through the basic module of building out an ad. You'll notice on my screen here that I'm spending about $30 to $40 per new listing, okay? And my new listing ads are very simplistic, all right? They're literally just a single picture of the home, or maybe a couple pictures of the home, a small description part that comes right from the MLS. I almost exclusively just write the words welcome home. And then I usually take the you could be coming home to this tag that Command automatically creates. And the button that I use is always learn more. This ad that you're looking at right now is super simplistic. But let's think about it for a second. What town is this in? How many bedrooms?
Doesn't say.
Bathrooms? What's the price? What do you have to click on this ad? Learn more. It looks simplistic, but I see so many people that are running ads that are like, oh, this new home in Media, PA at $329,000. It's 3 beds, it's 4 baths, and here's 7 pictures of the property. What the hell do they need to click learn more for? You gave away all the information about the home. As a matter of fact, they could probably just then go over their Zillow app and just look it up. They're not even going to click through your ad. So if your home doesn't have something super special that ties in those things, then you don't need to put it in an ad. Has anybody ever seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Right? So Alec Baldwin has that famous speech in it where he talks about sales stuff, right? And in it, he uses an acronym, right? And it's AIDA. Attention, interest, decision, action. I want you to think about the ad you're building out. What draws the attention? The picture. So if AIDA is attention, interest, decision, action, attention is the photo. If you're using a crappy photo, you've already lost the game. That's the A. So I've caught their attention with the photo, which is why I always use beautiful professional photography. 2 is interest. I need to pique their interest with what they read up top. Attention, interest. All right? Decision is, do they have to learn more or not? And the action is, when they click learn more, do they give me their information? That's how online ads are actually built. Attention, interest, decision, action. What are you grabbing their attention with? How are you piquing their interest? What button did you use to give them a decision to make? And what action do they have to take afterwards for you to benefit? Has anybody ever thought about lead generation online like that before? When you're coming up with an ad, right? You just go, oh, this is a nice picture. Oh, let me figure out these couple words. It's a formula, guys. It's a formula. So if you follow that formula, you will see the amount of leads you get go way up. Now, let's see a useful ad that doesn't follow that formula and why. So I'll go down here to this Bettner ad. So this one here screams Bettner for under 300,000. I've already given you the town and the price. 3-bed, 2-bath. I've given you the information that I just told you. You shouldn't give them that information. So why did I give it? Because when you see these pictures and you see that information, you're going to know if you're looking for houses in that area that that's a steal. And so you're going to sign up to literally try to get info on that property. So this ad is built around the actual, like, oh, snap, Bettner, close to the beach, fully remodeled, 3 beds, 2 baths, under 300,000. By the way, 2 of the leads we closed came from this ad. We double-sided the property and then took someone else to another townhouse. So this ad was one of our best performing. Same thing though, why did I spend $125 on this and $30 on these? I want you to think about it in terms of like someone going to the casino, right? And if they give you a good hand in blackjack, if they gave you the option, when you saw that you had 20 and you saw that the dealer had a 4, okay? And you were like, oh my gosh, my chances of winning are much higher. What if at that point they allowed you to increase your bet? You'd probably increase it as much as you could because you know your chances of winning are way higher. I knew that we had a home run with that property. So I spent more because when you've got a home run there, you spend and you hit the home run. The other stuff, these are just my regular listings. So it's formulaic, $30, $30, $40. As the market's getting a little crazier, maybe up it a little bit, right? Maybe I'll go back to $50, right? If I feel like I have the capacity to handle the leads. But if I come across the gem, I have absolutely no problem taking it to $100, $125 for that ad. I see people online or on Facebook when they're talking about their campaigns inside Command, they go so super cheap with it. They're like, I'm spending, I don't understand. I spent $10. I got 7 leads and I can't, could you believe it? All 7 of them had bad phone numbers. Yeah, no kidding. You generated 7 leads. The average closing is 100. You need 125 to 130 of them. Call me when you get to 150 leads and tell me that you haven't hit a viable client, right? But you only spent $10. Guys, if you want to do the small spending stuff, it has to be on a set schedule continuously. I want you to compare also the cost of different styles of lead generation against each other. How much does it cost you to run a mailer in a neighborhood? In a half decent sized neighborhood, 500, right? And that's a single shot, not a continuous process, a single shot. What if you could crush an entire county repetitively for $500? Now, I realize, since I don't see a lot of you with your cameras on, that many of you are camera shy. You might think to yourself, well, it's just me right now. I just don't look good right this second. It's different. Like, I'm just sitting on the couch. No, the reality is you aren't comfortable with looking at yourself in the camera. I could be on camera all day. And and by the way, I get it. It takes years to build this physique, all right? No matter what you look like, what you sound like, okay? When you're like, oh, I hate the way I look on video. I hate the way I look on camera. I hate the way I sound. That's how you sound. That's how you look. And your friends and family and clients, they're okay with that. You should be okay with that too. Because the next strategy I'm going to give you could be a gem for one of you if you learn to use it correctly. So, how many of you, show of hands, how many of you own a 4K camera? Okay, different question. How many of you own one of these?
Everybody.
Right? So good news, you own a 4K camera. How many of you own a microphone setup? Right here. So the highest quality video that you could possibly put out and audio is right here. Here's the strategy. If you want to become the neighborhood expert, if you want to become the person who, when people think of real estate, they think of you, the best way to do it is video. And you can do short videos or super long videos. So before I go into the actual strategy, I want to tell you about some data from Facebook. If someone watches your video for more than 3 seconds, they have found that there's almost no difference in fall off ratio between a video that is 15 seconds long and a video that's 15 minutes long. People drop off in the first 3 seconds. But once you've hooked them and they're on, they'll stay as long as your content is engaging. I want you to think about the way that people watch videos or the way that people watch YouTube, right? How come YouTube isn't just a bunch of 30-second clips? We're taught as realtors, like, oh, if you're going to do a video, make sure to keep it to 30 seconds. Oh, make sure to keep that video short or you're going to lose people's interest. Then why are all the biggest YouTube stars out there doing videos that are 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? Why? Because people don't have a 30-second video attention span the way that we've been taught. Now, if you're going to get up and do a used car sale type commercial, hey, come on down to KW Philly this weekend only, and we're going to be giving away new houses. Yes, you're going to probably lose people in less than 3 seconds. You might even lose them after the 3 seconds. They might only go 4 more seconds in because they're like, this is wacky. But if you went super cheesy with it and you were wearing a big 10-gallon cowboy hat, right, and had like, the fake 6 shooters and wore a whole getup, they'd watch 10 minutes of you because they go, this guy's crazy.
Crazy Eddie.
Right? So, I mean, literally, like, you do better in your real estate video if you were dressed like The Wiz. Everyone loves The Wiz, right? You put a big crown on your head, wear a cape, and be like, I'm the king of Philadelphia real estate. They would actually watch that. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that this stuff doesn't have to be short or long is because there's multiple strategies that you can build into online advertising, even through command, that have to do with video. And I want to lay out those strategies for you because, like I said, I want you to take away something from today that you're like, damn, I've never even thought about advertising online like that before. If you want to know the basics of just doing a listing ad, you can come to one of the 10 gazillion classes I've run, or you can watch one of Marty Miller's videos. If I'm going to spend my time with you guys today, I want to get advanced. All right. So let's think about it for a second like this. You can go into campaigns here, click create a new campaign, social ad, brand awareness, call it the Haddonfield weekly Facebook update. And then I'd probably put the week, right? So like this would be like the week of 3/26. So this way I know when I actually ran that ad. Like I make sure that whenever I title an ad, that I have some reference as to what's happening in it. I never just title an ad that's like new ad for buyers, new potential listing ad. If I'm doing it for a specific listing, I literally title it the address and the town. So if I'm running this, and we're talking about video here, and I go on and I say I want to run this on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to set this campaign up. Now, there's no listing for me to choose. So you guys know, if you've ever seen me do these and set these up, and I do a listing ad, it's going to come in and say, well, choose your listing. We're doing video here though. So I'm going to skip this little tutorial and we're going to go down to right to the ad media. I'm going to configure the ad media, video, select media for this campaign, and I will just grab like a so this is just a video of some drone stuff down at the shore. So you can play this video preview inside here. You can play this video preview over here. All right, so now that I've got my video, I go back to my ad text and I say, so you type in whatever you want in the terms of, hey, this is going to be my market update video. This is going to be whatever, right? Your headline is so you can put your name in the headline, description, now we get into the actual ad itself because we've added our media in. I'm going to say that I want this to run from the George Kelly page. So you can see that I've linked it already to my Facebook is linked into my command. So now you're seeing that this ad is running from George Kelly. It says market update for Haddonfield, New Jersey, last week of March. I would put in a little video here of myself, right? Like all I would do is literally just look into my iPhone and just say, what's up, guys? It's George. It's the last week of March here. I wanted to give an update on what we're doing here in Camden County, especially in the town of Haddonfield. So this is the Haddonfield weekly update for the week of March, blah to blah. We had new homes that came on the market. We had this many that went pending. We had this many that sold. Our average days on market is this, right? And I just give some useful market data. It wouldn't be anything crazy because remember, the goal would be to create this little ad every single week. A simple video market update every single week. What do you think that your local neighborhood would think of you if they saw you do a market update ad every week? So I've now selected that it'll run from George Kelly. I want to say that it's going to run in regular Instagram news feed. I'm not going to put it in the story. All right. My button that I want on Facebook is going.
I sold. I bought it. The heat in there was 30 years old.
Oh, okay. So I'm going with learn more as the button still, right? Use Facebook lead generation form is fine. Or there's also the strategy, right? We can take this strategy to the next level of, let's say that you recorded a 5-minute update video, okay? But you recorded a 15-second preview. And your 15-second preview was, hey guys, George Kelly, it's me back again for the week with the Haddonfield market update. Make sure to click this link below here to go to our page, check out what's happening in the town this week, right? And then we could build out a landing page inside Command and Consumer here and choose the landing page with the video on it already that we've created. And so now I could say use a site or landing page, and then, sorry, I got to select that in the landing page again. So I can choose my landing page. So now people can watch the video, and if they click learn more, they can go to a spot where there will be an extended video. Okay? Or I can capture their information through using the Facebook lead generation form. Now, if you are going to do a video like this and you think that you're going to capture lead generation information, you have to have something to give, right? Nobody's just going to be like, oh, I watched your video. Now here's my name, here's my email address, here's my phone number. No, you have to have a thing to say, you know, and guys, when you click learn more down below, you're going to get the calendar with everything that's happening in Haddonfield this month, right? So you have to click the learn more button. And when they sign up for that stuff, guess what then you have to then do? Follow up with them to give them what you told them you were going to give them. So you can use the Facebook lead generation form to give them something of value, or you can send them to a site or landing page to watch more of the video. This one here, use a site or landing page, is going to result in way higher impressions. This one here, the Facebook algorithm is going to work to try and do fewer impressions because they're going to try and serve it up to people that they think are actually going to give you their information. Now, if I was doing a brand building ad, exactly like what I'm talking about here, I would probably just use a site or landing page because my goal, oh, my camera just clicked out. Hold on. That'll come back on in a second. But my goal would be to actually just continually give them the info and brand build and brand build and brand build, right? I wouldn't be caring about if they gave me their pertinent information. I'd be doing it in place of a postcard, in place of, you know, a magazine or an ad spend inside of like the weekly Haddonfield Sun, right? So the next coolest part is that I can either use the custom settings and say, all right, yes, show this to everyone within 15 miles of Cherry Hill. I could change the town, obviously, but just to let you know, no matter what you do in here, you can't go smaller than 15 miles because that's a federal housing regulation guideline that our command abides by, right? So you're not going to be like, oh, well, I just want to target this one little neighborhood, right? What you can do, though, is that you can take this shit to the next level, all right? And by next level, you can target your own database. So instead of using a custom target to hit a bunch of people that you don't know, right? What if you made the video way more friendly, personable, and funny, okay? And you just targeted your own database and you said, I want to create a new audience. The tag has got to be everyone in my audience everyone in my database that's tagged as awesome. And this new list is going to be called like my awesome friends. And then I'm going to create that list. And if you have 100 people minimum, Facebook is going to try and match the email addresses, phone numbers, and names that are in your database with their database to that name, email, and phone number. And when they come across the connection, they know that that's the person it should be advertising to. So imagine using this as a targeted database video billboard that you can use to grow the most important thing you have, which is when they think of you, they think of real estate, database crushing referrals. Guys, just in a matter of the last couple minutes, we've talked about how to do a custom video, what you say in it, how you target it, who you could target it to. You could do a landing page, you could do a short video, you could do a long video. This is next level real estate marketing. Because the game you're playing is when they think of real estate, they think of you. Not just think of you in terms of a headshot. And look, I'm sorry, if anybody's on this call from Compass, I've got to knock them for a hot second. The ads that I see running from there are just, hold on, change my camera. The ads I see running from there are just like an agent's face like this. And then there's like a picture of them like on their phone looking all like, I'm right in the middle of negotiating something on my phone right now, right? And that's the whole ad. Who the hell is calling you because of that? I can't think of a more waste of money than just advertising a picture of myself smiling on the sidewalk. That doesn't actually do anything, all right? The strategy I just laid out for you, though, is your face, your voice, your hand. You guys notice I talk with my hands, right? Your hand motions, your body language, your relatability, your tonality. People like you for you. So what if your database constantly got a little video of you and we're like, oh my gosh, real estate is insane this week. Let me tell you my real estate story for the week. Let me tell you what the last open house I went to was like that there was 90 people at. You can win the battle of when they think of real estate, they think of you. And you don't have to spend $1,000 a month to do it to hit random people in a neighborhood. You can do it through targeted video advertising to your database, or if you were promoting a property, you could use this same strategy, except the video will be about the property. If you wanted to do this about a market update for the whole county, you could do a market update for the whole county. You could break it down and say, week 1, I do the northern section of the county. Week 2, I do the central. Week 3, I do the south part of the county, right? And literally just advertise that same ad out to everybody, except you're just doing it a little bit at a time, week by week by week, taking you back to what we talked about or what I talked about. I'm sorry, haven't really given you guys any time to ask questions. It's just my nature. I just talk, right? We've talked about this from the beginning of the time that we started today, which is consistency of action is what wins. Singular action doesn't win. Consistency of action over time wins. I might even have more respect for those Compass ads if they ran it every week and switched the darn picture up a little bit. But the fact that I still see the same picture of the same guy or same girl or whoever, and it's the same them sitting on a bench pretending to look at their phone, right? That doesn't do anything other than me go, oh my gosh, I figured out which agents waste the most money in real estate. So we have 10 minutes left. I've talked about a whole bunch of stuff. I hope you guys got ideas that were completely fresh way to think about using your campaign system and how capable this stuff really is. 10 minutes left, open floor. Any questions you have, let's go. All right, nothing. See you guys later. It's nice talking to everybody.
I had a question.
Yeah, let's go.
If we don't have listings, let's say I just want to try to, and you might have said this and I might have not been present at the time, but I want to try to get listings. Is there a good way to do that? I mean, because obviously I don't want to just put a photo of myself with a phone.
You're exactly right. You don't want to put up a photo of yourself with a phone, but I want you to always remember the 3-to-1 ratio. For every 3 buyers you get, one of them will have a home they have to sell. For
Okay.
every three buyers you get, one of them has to have a home to sell. That's just straight up national average.
Okay.
So lead genning for buyers is the strategy to back yourself into sellers.
Okay.
Now, the only other strategy I know that when it comes to lead genning for sellers is A, door knocking, B, cold calling, right? Or C, doing what we were talking about here today, which is do targeted videos to a county and just say, we're out of inventory. Record high home prices. Call me to sell today. Now that's kind of commercial-ish, right? So you can wrap it up around some other stuff. You could do like, hey, I wanted to talk about this new restaurant that popped up in Fishtown. And by the way, most of my clients who want to live in Fishtown, we can't find inventory there. So always remember, if you need to sell in Fishtown, you can call me today at 856-470-7425, right? There's all sorts of creative ways to get sellers, but I try to teach the people on my team that the fastest way to get any client, buyer, or seller is working your database and literally just calling them and saying, I'm completely out of inventory. Who do you got who's thinking about selling? Could be you, could be somebody else. I know that this sounds like a sales call. Good news, it is a sales call. Don't try to masquerade it, right? I'm completely out of inventory. We have 1.2 months of inventory left. We're getting sky-high prices. Anybody you know, tell them to call me. This is a cry for help to help people make money right now. There's nothing wrong with literally just calling your database and just being honest.
Right. I've done that. My database isn't going anywhere at the moment, but yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to branch out more.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, online advertising, if you're going to do it, you get way more buyer leads, but understanding that if you're getting buyer leads, that buyers 3-to-1, one of them has to have a home to sell. So if you're online advertising, you get 3 real buyers, you're going to come across the contingency. One of those 3 has to sell.
Okay. Thank you.
Jen, were you meaning more of like if you don't have like a listing to advertise, like what you would put in the advertisement?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think content is more of what you were asking for, correct? Or are you talking about videos? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, content's actually the easy part, right? Literally, I just go, there's a miraculous website. I'm going to show you guys this website. You can steal it if you want. This is probably the best website that there is right now for figuring out content. Take your note cards here. Here it is. That's the website, okay? If you go right there, I just learned about this website the other day. You go there, you're allowed to type anything inside this bar right here, and it provides you with tons of things to talk about. Guys, last year at the beginning of the pandemic, I got on and talked on Facebook Live and did a talk show for 64 nights in a row. Just from my basement. I don't have 64 nights worth of things to talk about. All I did was just go into Google and just type real estate. And then I went to the news section. Boom. Real estate agents are rethinking decades of advice on pools. There you go. Somebody else just created my content for me. All I'm doing now is going into a video form and saying, guys, let me tell you what I've learned being in real estate. For years, people would come to me and they'd go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want a pool. I'm worried about my kids. I'm worried about the insurance. I'm worried about this, that, or the other. Pool's a liability. It's a headache. It's a lot of work. Guess what every client's telling me now? I'm dying for a pool. I'd love a house with a pool. If you have a house with a pool and you've even remotely thought about selling it, this is your cash cow time to use that asset that for decades real estate agents have said is not a big value to your home. Now it's one of the most key things that you can have in selling a property. I guarantee you that we are going to crush the sale of your home because you have a pool. It took me all of 9 seconds to figure out what to talk about, right? Same thing. Just go back to Google, go to real estate. What's the next thing? Clubhouse. What's the next thing? Brooklyn. What's the next thing? Real estate worries about co-ops tax hike, but legislator talk about what's happening in real estate law. Local real estate firm acquires General Motors site for $34 million. You could talk about commercial real estate. The property tax impact on the U.S. 21 hours ago, real estate report from Yahoo Finance. Guys, all I did was go to Google, type in real estate, and go to news. Any one of you could talk about any one of these things. If you want to lead generate and you're wondering, George, I'd like to do videos like you talk about, I just don't know what to talk about. Just Google the word real estate, go to news, and talk about what's current right now. One last question. What do we got?
Do you know if we are allowed to take other people's listing and post it on Facebook if we don't have any contact to post?
You got to ask for permission.
There we go. One, I'd never do it outside my brokerage. And two, I would always ask the listing agent if it was okay. By the way, I started my career like that. I did not have any listings of my own, none. I actually was in a productivity coaching program in my market center, and I looked at the other people who came to the meetings with me and I said, hey, is everybody else here trying to get more business? And they said, yes. And I said, well, I'm going to make a promise to all of you if you guys would like to reciprocate. If I take a listing, I would like to let each and every one of you know that you can advertise that listing out and you can try to use that listing to get more clients. Would everybody be open to using that sort of co-oping share strategy?
Yes.
There was only 9 people, by the way, in my productivity coaching program at the time when we did that. But guess what? I took one listing this month, but I didn't next month, but 2 other people in the program did, and I advertised there. So then it looked like I took 2 listings that month. And then the next month, I took 1 and 3 other people did. Now it looks like we all took 4 listings that month, right? But just having that open dialogue conversation with either a top agent in your office or your TL to see who they would talk to, or your productivity coach, or the other agents that you're working together with, even if it's just solo agents. Just have that open conversation with them. Most of the time, they'll say, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. All right. Lastly, did anybody learn anything new today?
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yep.
Good.
George, can I ask you, when you did this 64 days during the pandemic, did you do like a Facebook Live, or did you actually just like make a video and then promote it through command?
Nope. Did straight up Facebook Live. I clicked go and talked for 20 minutes straight. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I have a natural ability to talk for long, long periods of time. off the top of my head. That is something that I'm just good at doing.
It's the Irish DNA.
Right? But even if so my buddy Scotty Farrell, when it comes to video stuff, and I know this is going to end up carrying us a little long, but so myself, when I go into my videos, these are all the nights that I went live on Facebook, right? You'll see 22 minutes, 20 minutes, 19 minutes, 21 minutes. But when I was first doing this business, I would do way more just standard talk videos. And as a matter of fact, these things weren't standard talk videos. This is sort of my...
Where's Daddy going? Right, Daddy's going to the poker table, right?
What's up, everybody? It's George, and I am back from Las Vegas.
You guys see how I'm just literally just talking right into the camera at my office, right? But I use a little program on a Mac, and I'll show you guys what the program is. If any of you have Macs.
Mm-hmm.
The program's called ScreenFlow. It's $99. Or I think it's 99 or 120 bucks. It's an editing program. It's a one-time purchase. So this is where I do, if you notice that sort of, the cuts and clips of editing, this is dummy editing software. It's the easiest thing to use of all time. And there's a bunch of online real estate or online tutorials. So I literally just use this software just to, create the video you guys just saw. And I just underlay some music under top of it. So if there's a little strategy to help up your video game, ScreenFlow is worth every dollar.
Did you use that with the Facebook Live and then record and then put it out on Facebook Live, or you did that just for your videos? You're saying that you put out through command. I'm sorry, I got confused.
No. My Facebook Lives, I just went and I use a program called Ecamm Live.
Okay.
And Ecamm Live is the program that allows me to turn my DSLR camera into a webcam. But the software also allows you to just hit go live, and it's tied to Facebook. And so that's why I had that set up that looked like, it was me with the logo and the white background and stuff. Right. That was just through that software.
Okay. Interesting.
Hey, George, do you share, so those targeted videos that you put through command and you pay for, do you share those also on your stories on Instagram and Facebook, or do you make
No. Yeah, I was going to say, most of the time, if I'm doing something like that, it's completely separate.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions before we don't take up any more of George's day? Anybody else?
All right.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George.
Today, George. Thank you
guys.
to all of you who attended any day of our Tech Week. We are currently working on downloading the videos, re-uploading them, and everybody who attended will receive a thank you with all the pre-records. So if you missed anything or want to go back, you'll have the opportunity to do that. So thank you again for attending our Tech Week. We're super excited. This is our first one. Thank you to Andrew for getting all of our guest speakers. And we're super excited to have all of you on board and with us. If any of you are interested in joining us for any of our trainings outside of Tech Week, you're more than welcome. Our calendar is open and public. So feel free. I'm going to have Andrew drop his email in the chat, and he can share that calendar out with you as well.
Thank you guys so much for your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on putting together such a fabulous program. Thank you.
For joining us.
great this with you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And thank-
We'll see you guys again next month.
Thanks for letting me come in from New Orleans. Appreciate it.
Anytime. You're welcome to join in on any of our classes. We have an awesome tax abatement class next month, and we'll be running Tech 2.0. So we'll be sure to get that information out to everyone who attended.
Okay, great. Bye all.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Timay. Thank you.
Yeah.
For everything.
Oh my gosh, of course. I'm going to just leave this open for a few minutes to make sure everybody can get the information out of the chat that they need, but you're free to hop off if you have to get somewhere else, Andrew.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Does everybody have all the information they need out of the chat? All right. Have a good day, everybody.